Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. 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 When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. Pray. Pray.
Welcome, everyone, to Dr. Pillai's Religion of Religions YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be doing a live planetary puja using the chart of now, which will be showing the placement of all the different planets across the zodiac signs. We're going to honor the planets, we're going to honor the stars they're in, the archetypes that rule those stars, and the planets that rule the different signs that the planets are in. So it's a very comprehensive puja. My name is Swamini Valli. I am a Pillai Center teacher and an AstroVed astrologer. I'm hosting these programs Monday through Friday, with the exception of yesterday, which was Ganesha's birthday. And we were having a Ganesha's birthday function event with Dr. Pillai at the same time. So I did cancel for yesterday. I did have them put a card up on the YouTube so people would know that. And I apologize to anyone for whom that was an inconvenience. But we're back now with our regularly scheduled program. So it again will be Monday through Friday on a regular basis here on this channel. Dr. Pillai has said the planets and the stars are more than just objects in outer space. They are also divine light beings. And when we're doing the puja, we're inviting their light, their blessings to flow into us and into our world. So it's a beautiful thing that we're doing. With the puja, some of you may have seeings, some of you may have feelings, some of you may have understandings, and all of those modes of perception are valid and wonderful. So this is the chart that we're working with for today, August 31st, 2022, based on my location here in Florida. As you know, Florida is where the Artemis rocket will be taking off when it's ready. So we do have some energy in this state for going out into outer space, but we're also traveling into inner space when we do this puja, because Dr. Pillai has said all of these beings, the planets and the stars, they're also inside of us as well. So you may feel things inwardly being activated for yourself as we do the puja. We're using the South Indian style layout of the sidereal chart, the Vedic chart. Each of these little 12 boxes represents a particular zodiac sign. And each of the planets are represented here. I am including the three outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, because this year Dr. Pillai commissioned for statues to be made for those three planets as well, had them energized in a fire lab and placed into his temple in the Chennai area in India. So we're using the mantras for them that were used in the fire labs that energize those statues. This here represents AC ascendant, the sign coming up on the eastern horizon right now in my location here in Florida. And we'll work with that chart in just a moment. I have on a side table here, I have a blackboard with the chart drawn in chalk and the planets filled in. I have a lit tea light, I have a bell, I have a container of water, I have a little hand fan, and I also have a bowl of flowers, petals, which I'll be using as we do the puja. We I'm going to take right now the little container of water, and with my ring finger of my right hand, dip into it and sprinkle a few drops of water on each of the 4 sides of the blackboard, symbolizing purifying the space for the puja. Sprinkling a few drops of water on top of my own head, purifying me, and sending a few drops of water out towards space, towards all of you, whether you're watching it live or on the replay, so that we're all participating in the puja from a sense of being in sacred ground and being purified for the puja. Next, we're going to, excuse me, next we're going to invoke Ganesha, the archetype who removes obstacles. He had a big birthday yesterday. We celebrated him. And he's also an archetype that helps with all of these celestial beings. He's very important for astrology, and we invoke him at the beginning of the Vedic rituals. So we start with him and we use the mantra Om Sring Gung, S-R-I-N-G, G-U-N-G. Om Sring Gung, Om Sring Gung, Om Sring Gung. We ask Ganesha to come and to remove all obstacles from this puja and to remove all obstacles for all of us from our day or our evening. And we thank him for his help with this. Next, we're going to do a short Tamil chant asking all of the planets to be beneficial towards us. I did put the link for this chant up above earlier in the chat if you're not familiar with it. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave, Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave, Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. We ask all of the planets to be beneficial today towards us and towards our world. We thank Saint Yanasamundar for teaching this chant, and we are grateful to Dr. Pillai for sharing it with us. Now I'm going to honor the various time elements that are active right now in my local area. We start with honoring the planet that rules the day, which is Mercury. Each time we invoke Mercury, I'll be taking a flower petal, holding it while we're saying the mantra, and then I'll place it on top of him on the blackboard. Flowers have tremendous purity, and when we hold a flower, when we're doing a prayer or a mantra, it takes the sound, vibrations, the energy of that prayer or the mantra, and takes it right into the causal plane, into the Akash, and that actually updates our own Akashic record. So we're grateful to the flower petals for the help that they give us in doing the pujas. We begin by honoring Mercury, the planet that rules the day. I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Next, we honor the star that the moon is in. At the moment, the moon in my area is in a star called Chitra, a star symbolized as a shining jewel. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Now, excuse me. We honor the moon phase, or the Tithi. Right now we are in the 5th waxing moon phase, which is called Panchami in Sanskrit. Dr. Pillai said we would use the Sanskrit name for the moon phase, followed by the word Devi, which is honoring the light being associated with that moon phase. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Panchami Devye Namaha. Om Panchami Devye Namaha. Om Panchami Devye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules the hour, At the moment in this area, we are in an hour that's being ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we're going to honor two time elements, one called the yoga and one called the karana. Dr. Pillai said for these time elements, we would just say their names. We wouldn't be offering flower petals. The yoga right now that's active is one called Sukla, which has the energies of bright focus. Sukla, Sukla, Sukla. And the karana that's active right now is one called Bhava, which has energies of creativity. Bhava, Bhava, Bhava. Now we turn our attention to the chart of the moment. And we start again with the ascendant sign, which right now is here in Virgo, represented by this AC for ascendant. In some astrology books, it might be called the Lagna or the rising sign. It's the sign coming up on the eastern horizon right now in this local area. Dr. Pillai said we would start with the ascendant, and we would start with honoring the planet that rules the ascendant. Virgo happens to be ruled by Mercury. So we honor Mercury, and I put the flower petals on him. Om, Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Next, we're going to honor any planet that might be in the ascendant. And right now, Mercury is sitting in Virgo, a sign that he both rules and also the sign where he is the exalted or the most strong. Again, we honor Mercury, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Mercury has moved into a star called Hasta, a star represented as an open hand in blessing. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Hastaye Namaha. Om Hastaye Namaha. Om Hastaye Namaha. Hasta star is ruled by an archetype called Savitur, which is a form of the sun, which has a lot to do with telling the truth and also helping with other things associated with the sun. We honor Savitur. Om Saviturye Namaha. Om Saviturye Namaha. Om Saviturye Namaha. Next, we honor the planet that rules Hasta, which is the moon. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Now we pause for a moment and reflect on Kanya or Virgo, a sign that's very detail-oriented and has analytical energies and helps us with things like pattern recognition and organization. Today containing Mercury, planet of communication, and also a planet that helps us with all forms of buying and selling, commercial success. We pause for a moment and reflect. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Tula or Libra, which today contains the moon and Ketu. We start with honoring the moon. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. The moon is in a star called Chitra, symbolized as a brilliant jewel. We ask for blessings from this star, and I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Om Chitraye Namaha. Chitra is ruled by an archetype called Tvashtar, who's a form of the divine architect. In this form, he's considered to be the master craftsman. We honor Tvashtar, and I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Om Tvashtarye Namaha. Chitra star is ruled by Mars. We honor Mars, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor Ketu for being in Libra. I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Right now, Ketu is in a star called Vishaka, a star that can give blessings for triumph and victory. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by a pair of archetypes, Indra and Agni. Indra can give blessings for leadership and courage, and Agni can give blessings for transformation and purification. We honor both of them, and I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Om Indra Agnihe Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Libra, which is Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Tula or Libra, a sign with energies of balance and fairness and harmony, today containing the moon, which is our mind and our emotions, and Ketu, sometimes called the saintly planet. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Makara or Capricorn, which today contains Pluto retrograde and also Saturn retrograde. When planets are retrograde, they are extra powerful. We start with honoring Pluto. For him, we're going to use the mantra Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Pluto is in a star called Uttarashada. This star can give blessings for success, especially long-lasting success. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the 10 Visvadevas, archetypes who each embody a unique, divine, universal principle. We ask for blessings from all 10 of them, and I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Visvadevasyes Namaha. Om Visvadevasyes Namaha. Om Visadevasye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the sun. We honor the sun, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Next, we honor Saturn for being in Capricorn. He's also retrograde, extra powerful. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Saturn is in a star called Dhanishta, a star that can give blessings for prosperity, music, and good reputation. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Om Dhanishtaye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by the 8 Vasus, 8 light beings who each rule different spheres of existence. We honor them, and I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Dhanishta star is ruled by the planet Mars. We honor Mars, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Capricorn, which is Saturn. Again, we honor Saturn, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Makara or Capricorn, a sign that can activate ancient past life skills and abilities. Today containing Pluto, a planet that can give blessings for rationality and science, and Saturn, a planet that gives blessings for patience, organization, structure, and compassion. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Meena or Pisces, which today contains Neptune retrograde and Jupiter also retrograde. We start with honoring Neptune, and the mantra we use for him is Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Neptune is in a star called Purva Bhadrapada, a star with the energy fire of Kundalini, and a star that gives blessings of purification. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada star is ruled by the archetype called Aja Ekapada, who can give blessings to help us experience deeper levels of silence as well as forgiveness. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Next, we honor Jupiter for being in Pisces, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Jupiter is in a star called Uttara Bhadrapada. Dr. Pillai says this star is one that can help us with business development. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on top of Jupiter. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada star is ruled by an archetype called Arbundia, an archetype who helps to guard precious treasures and valuables. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada star is ruled by Saturn. We honor Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Next, we honor the planet that rules Meena or Pisces, which is Jupiter. Again, we invoke Jupiter, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Meena or Pisces, the most transcendental and metaphysical of all the zodiac signs, today containing Neptune, a planet that helps with our intuition and our ability to understand our own inner life, and Jupiter, a planet who has everything to do with spiritual teachings, as well as a planet that can help with wealth or legal matters or anything related to banking. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi sign with the planet in it is Misha or Aries, which today contains Rahu and also Uranus, who is retrograde. We start with honoring Rahu, then we'll honor Uranus because they're both in the same star. So we'll honor both the two planets before we honor the star. We start with Rahu, and I put the flower petals on Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Next, we honor Uranus, who right now is retrograde and extra powerful. The mantra we use for him is Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. I put the flower petals on Uranus. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Ram Prajapataye Namaha. Now we honor the star that both Rahu and Uranus are in right now, a star called Bharani. This is a star with a tremendous amount of divine feminine Shakti or power or energy. We honor this star, and I place the flower petals across Rahu and Uranus. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Yama. Among other things, Yama is an archetype of justice. We ask his blessings. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Venus. We honor Venus, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Aries, which is Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Misha or Aries, a fire sign with very active energies, today containing Rahu, a planet that helps us to think outside the box, and Uranus, a planet of high intelligence and innovation, and also a planet that helps with astrology. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Vrishabha or Taurus, which today contains Mars. We honor Mars, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Right now, Mars is in a star called Rohini, a star with energies of beauty. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Rohinihe Namaha. Om Rohinihe Namaha. Om Rohinihe Namaha. Rohini star is ruled by Brahma, an archetype of creativity. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Rohini star is ruled by the moon. We honor the moon, and I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Taurus, which is Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Taurus, a grounded sign symbolized by the bull who has 4 feet firmly on the ground, and also a sign that has energies that are luxury loving. Today containing Mars, a planet that likes to solve problems and take action. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Simha or Leo, which today contains Venus and also the sun. We start with honoring Venus, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Right now, Venus is in a star called Magha, a star of royalty consciousness and a star that helps us to have high self-esteem. We ask for blessings from this star, and I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Maghaye Namaha. Om Maghaye Namaha. Om Maghaye Namaha. Magha star is ruled by the Petries. These are the ancestors who have moved into the higher planes of light and are able to send us blessings. We honor them, and I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Petrisye Namaha. Om Petrisye Namaha. Om Petrisye Namaha. Magha star is ruled by Ketu. We honor Ketu, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Now we honor the sun for being in Leo, and I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. The sun is in the star of Purva Palguni, one of the relationship stars and also a star of rest and relaxation. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Purva Palgunaye Namaha. Om Purva Palgunaye Namaha. Om Purva Palgunaye Namaha. Purva Palguni star is ruled by an archetype called Bhagya, an archetype who can give blessings for good fortune. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on the sun. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Purva Palguni star is ruled by Venus. We honor Venus, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Leo, which is the sun. Again, we honor the sun, and I put more flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Simha or Leo, a sign of power and leadership energies. Today, containing Venus, planet of happiness, diplomacy, and enjoyment of the arts and material plane comforts, and the sun, which is our soul, and also a planet so important for our health and our own self-confidence. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. Now I'm taking a lit tea light and I'm holding it above the blackboard that has the chart drawn on it with all the little piles of flowers. And I'm going to take it 3 times in a clockwise direction above the chart, offering the element of light to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked. Now I'm taking a hand fan. Some of you could use an incense stick, and I have a housemate who's sensitive to scent. So I'm just waving a little hand fan 3 times around the chart, offering the element of light, the element of air and a cooling breeze. And now I'll take the bell and offer the element of sound. Now I make prayer hands, and I make a sincere prayer to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked, asking them to bless all of us, to bless our families, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our homes, our workplaces, our schools, our communities, our countries, and indeed the entire planet. May everyone on this planet have healthy food to eat, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, a safe place to live, good clothes to wear, access to health care, good education, sustainable jobs. May everyone on this planet have love in their life, now and always. I pray for enlightened leaders, enlightened citizens, enlightened laws, enlightened countries, and entire enlightened civilizations. I pray for blessings for all of my teachers, past, present, and to come. And I pray for blessings for all of my students, past, present, and to come. And I make a bow. You can continue to make your own prayers silently for about a minute, and then I'll take some short Q&A. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment. Peace, peace, peace. May we all go about our day or our evening in peace. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate your participation and support. For a few moments, I can answer questions if you wish to post them in the chat. I see Katie posting a thank you. And to that, I just want to say it is my pleasure to do this. I truly enjoy doing these pujas. Katie is saying in the chat, may all the stars be lucky stars. Amen to that. Amen to that. Ranak is saying, I noticed Ketu and Moon together today. Does this combination increase spirituality quotient in our minds? When Ketu is with the moon is our mind and our emotions. And Ketu is a planet that does help with longing for liberation. He helps with kind of pushing us to realize there's more than just the physical plane to care about. So yes, it may bring a bit more interest in spirituality into some of us. They're both sitting in the sign of Libra, so it could also cause us to be looking at, making things feel fair in our own lives, being fair to others. It could make us care about balance a bit more. So yes, I would say yes, that is a combination that could increase that and take us a little bit deeper into that energy today. Alice saying, thank you. You're very welcome. Barbara saying, I appreciate and enjoy the additional information given today for the sun, especially. You're welcome. Some of the days I have a little bit more time to talk. On Fridays, I have to keep it very tight because we have another program coming right up and I have to get off the Zoom. So some days I feel inspired to share a bit more. So I'm glad that's helpful. Thank you for letting me know that. Evelyn saying thank you. Sitaram saying thank you. Shirley saying thank you. Appreciate all of you, whether you post in the chat or not. I know some of you are quiet and don't post anything, and that's always totally fine. But your presence in the puja adds to the group energy for everyone. And the group energy, when we're doing prayers and focus together in a group, it does help all of us to go a bit deeper with the extra energy of the group, the unity of the group consciousness. So thank you all for being here. Whether you post in the chat or not, you're appreciated. And I love that we have people in different states, different countries, and even different continents are being represented. I saw someone earlier in Brazil. I know Evelyn is over in, I think it's Singapore in Asia. So we have people, from different places tuning in. And I love that we're having that unity across the globe in our prayers. Beautiful. Not seeing any other questions today. And again, I always want to be respectful to your time. So I'll go ahead and close it out for now. I'll say namaste, which means I honor the light in you. The light in me honors the light in you, is what that phrase can mean. And I say, may light encompass all. Have a beautiful day or evening, and I'll be here again tomorrow. Namaste. Oh, I see Evelyn asking, do we still have Ganesha prayers? I believe the series that Pillai Center was doing for Ganesha has ended as of his birthday yesterday, but there are many other programs that will be happening on the channel. So there should still be the daily healing prayers for light, the daily communion, etc. Okay, namaste.